Hi, Ellie Weber with the News Channel. Today I want to discuss a little bit about a bill, an act that was apparently put into law in the year 2000 and signed by the then president, Bill Clinton, called ASEA REDOX. What does this mean? Is it a conspiracy theory or is it the real deal? So I'm going to go into this, a bit of it. I'm going to describe what's in it and why it's important to all of us. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so I can send you other videos, let you know when the live meetings are taking place. Check out the show more below. We have all kinds of cool products, Telegram channels if you're lonely, and let's rock. ASEA REDOX, the National Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act, was passed in the year 2000, but this was in planning since the 60s. This is the answer to the globalist view of the economy, where the federal banking system takes charge, where we're dominated, where the currency has nothing behind it. So this is the answer to this. This was passed into law, I believe, in the year 2000. It was signed by Bill Clinton. Now, what does it entail? Let's just talk about the details of it, and then we'll talk about a bit of the history. Cancels all credit cards, mortgages, and other bank debt due to illegal banking and government activities. Many refer to this as a jubilee or complete forgiveness of debt. This is biblical. Abolishes income tax. Abolishes the IRS. You see, they're doing that today. They're abolishing the IRS, really. It's already been taken into the Treasury. I don't believe they're functioning normally in any way. With employees of the IRS will be transferred to the U.S. Treasury National Sales Tax area. Creates a flat rate for non-essential new items on only sales tax revenue for the government. In other words, food and medicine will not be taxed, nor will be used items such as old homes. Increases benefits to senior citizens, returns constitutional law to all courts and legal matters. This is very important because currently we are working under maritime law, which is basically satanic law, which is designed to confuse you. That's why you can't really get justice in the courts anymore. And that's, by the way, a key point to the 7 Noahide laws, that the non-Jews are obligated, in order to be considered righteous Gentiles, they have to have courts of law, and right now the courts of law are satanic. So all the judges and lawyers will have to be re-educated into constitutional law that makes sense. Really God's law, if you think about it. A law that is so complicated you don't understand what it means, that is not called a law. That is called satanic confusion. That's called chaos. A law makes sense. If you hurt somebody, you want to help them. That's law. We will be following God's law, but it's also constitutional law. Reinstates the original title of nobility amendment, establishes new presidential and congressional elections within 120 days of ASEA's announcement. It will be on blockchain, by the way. The interim government will cancel all national emergencies and return us back to constitutional law that makes sense. God's law, okay? If you hurt somebody, you want to pay for them. If you cheat somebody, you want to pay him back. I mean, this is just, this will all make sense to us as we come into the era of Mashiach, the era of Messiah, the Great Awakening, where evil will basically be removed from the planet. Monitors elections and prevents illegal election activities of special interest groups, creates a new U.S. Treasury rainbow currency backed by gold, silver, and platinum precious metals, ending the bankruptcy of the United States initiated by Franklin Roosevelt. Actually, the United States went bankrupt during the 1800s. Forbids the sale of American birth certificate records as chattel property bonds by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Now, if you don't know about this, you need to do your research. Initiates a new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. Eliminates the Federal Reserve System. During the transition period, the Federal Reserve, which I believe is over, will be allowed to operate side by side of the U.S. Treasury for 1 year in order to remove all Federal Reserve notes from the money supply. That, I'm sure, is taking place. Restores financial privacy, retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law. I mentioned that already. Ceases all aggressive U.S. governmental military actions worldwide. Establishes peace throughout the world. Also, there will be no corruption. There will be no bribery. We cannot have Nasara Jasara while there's any corruption, any evil at all. It will all be gone. And this is biblical. I mean, it says in Chassidus that evil will not exist in the new age, in the era of Mashiach. We will actually look back to evil, and we will look fondly back, thinking that, wow, we could have really done some cool things. We could have reformed ourselves, but now we have no evil. We're actually going to miss it. Releases unprecedented prosperity with enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes, eliminates all current and future nuclear-powered weaponry on the planet Earth. A couple of things they didn't mention here: there's 6,000 patents dealing with energy and medicine and all kinds of things that we will be privy to in the future. And everything is moving forward. Now, the timeline goes like this. It was passed in the year 2000. There was a certain amount of gold set aside for it. That gold went missing in September of 2001, and some other things happened that put it on the back burner. I also believe there was a gag order passed so that the ones on the other side, the global people, were able to hide the fact that this is already passed into law. So this is really the kind of kickback from what happened in 1963, and this is the reinstitution of law that makes sense on the planet. This will be a global thing. You'll be able to trade across all boundaries. Mankind will be restored to sanity. So this is a tremendous opportunity for mankind. I believe it's taking place. This will be This will be backed by the quantum financial system, where everything is really being tracked by computers. The computers will recognize when somebody's trying to do something evil, when somebody's trying to do something corrupt, when somebody's trying to launder something. They will know about it or do some trafficking. So we're coming into, I know it sounds like futuristic and space age to some of you. To some of you others, we've known this for a long time. When people of the other side say this is a conspiracy theory, really, and the Fed is not, and fiat currency is not a conspiracy theory, and the maritime law is not a conspiracy theory, and selling birth certificates is not a conspiracy theory. So I think the best way to judge these things, whether it's true or not, is with your heart. Does it make sense? Because remember, we are coming into a quantum universe. We are coming into a world where good and evil will be separate. You know, the tree of knowledge, the good and evil got mixed together. They will be separate, but we will be living in a quantum field. We will understand what that means. Humanity will be restored, but we will be able to create our reality. And this is just a part of it. This is just a small part of reinstating mankind back onto a planet, a beautiful, clean, wonderful, loving planet. So nothing can stop what's coming. Where we go one, we go all. May the force be with you. May God bless and protect you. And let's get out there with this act, knowing that all debts are going to be forgiven and we're going to live in great prosperity. So let's get out there and rock the world.